Some of your greatest breakthroughs come from the moments that you thought you were falling behind. Stop judging yourself, bro. I know it's always easy to look at business growth and the way that you live your purpose in a linear way, but it's anything but linear, if I'm being honest. I remember when my personal training studio came crashing down, I was devastated. I was broken. I was consuming 1,500 milligrams of caffeine just to keep going. I had so much anxiety, by the way, but it was such a blessing. I didn't even know how much of a gift it all was. Again, it falling apart, and I had a business partner at that time, and it just it didn't work out. But that's what got me into my real purpose. That's what got me into the work that I'm doing now. Right, self empowerment coach, helping you heal within the ways you can start, so you can grow your business. It's all necessary, and it's never linear. It never is. But all those moments where you fail, right? They're a necessity. And I love what Napoleon Hill says about failure, how it's such a dumb language, or it has such a dumb language because we don't understand it in the moment. But in retrospect, the dots always connect. I can't tell you how many times I thought, what am I doing wrong? I'm showing up, I'm doing the things that are necessary, but I'm still not where I want to be. And I failed and I failed and I would criticize myself, and I was so angry at myself and frustrated. Like, why didn't I get it already? Right? I've invested, I've done X, Y, and Z, but there's always something internal. For me, I to the freaking to the core, to my core, I thought I was a failure. I thought I was a disappointment to my parents. I thought I was a loser. And that was the main thing I had to address. There's something within you that you got to go into, bro. And it's not going to go away. And it's crazy because even if you do get the money, even if you do, right, get to a point in your business where you feel successful, there's always going to be that void. There's always going to be something missing because you can't go into it, right? And sometimes you're not ready, and that's okay. But at some point, eventually, you're gonna have to deal with it, bro. And there's a lot of ways, right? There's a lot of ways to do it. If you want help, you want support, go ahead and click the link in the description. I have a powerful process that I walk you through in my free community. But it's just until you really go into it, very little is gonna change. And it's all connected to your business growth because your business is a mirror of what's going on internally. And 99% of the time, it ain't the strategy, bro. It's the internal work that needs to get done. I've lived it, right? I've been there. I've known so many strategies, so many things that I could to do to grow your business. But until I handled the stuff that was in here, they were pointless, useless, because I couldn't utilize them to their full benefit because I kept signing myself off, because I kept stopping myself. I kept self sabotaging myself because I believed the limiting beliefs. I wasn't willing to do the inner work, right? Or sometimes you want to, but you just don't know how to. Again, that's when you want help. Man, without the mentors, without the coaching programs that I've been in, I could not be here right now. I can't because the version of me that started before all of this, he was lost. He had no idea what he was doing. It's like we need each other to learn from each other. And one of my old mentors, he always said, "Each one teach one," and I couldn't be more true. Right? It couldn't be more true. But you know, there's always going to be pivots. It's always going to be turning points in your life, and it's up to you to interpret the meaning, the definition of it. What do they mean, right? Do they mean you're a failure? Do they mean you're a disappointment? Or you know what? Is it still a win because you learned something? You gathered some new data, right? You gathered some new experience that's going to help you later on. I was watching Selena yesterday with my girlfriend, and it's crazy. Like the dad, he was the manager, and he tried to do his group was called Los Dinos, and he tried to make it early on, and he quote unquote failed. He ended up having to get a job because his son, Selena's brother, didn't even recognize him when he would have come home. He was afraid. His son was afraid of his dad because he wasn't there. He had to get a job, and after a couple years, he ended up creating Selena and Los Dinos. But all those experiences all the experience and the knowledge that he gathered from what he did earlier on with his group, Los Dinos, he used it all to help him and his family be successful later. And that's what happens, right? Sometimes we don't understand why in that moment. It doesn't make sense, but it was hard for him. I'm sure right now, you're going through some tough times. I've gone through a lot of tough times, and they still come. But you have so much wisdom that you can utilize, and when that moment, right? He, the dad, he utilized everything he went through, and he made it. Look at who Selena is now, right? And his family, where he got his family. They'll never be forgotten. But he went through hell and back, man. And maybe that's something, you relate to, because you got your own things that you're going through. And they're just turning points. If you can keep that mentality, if you can hold on to that mindset, you'll be able to utilize every single thing that you go through and make it serve you, right? Because the world ain't against you, bro. It's not that the world didn't give you a chance. It's that you need to give yourself a chance. And you keep showing up and you keep doing the next thing that you got to do, whatever it is. But it just, man, you don't know how life is going to go. You really don't, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going, man. And that's the crazy thing, because society tells us that success is linear, or at least it seems that way, right? When you see all these successful people, but it's anything but linear. It's always a roller coaster, bro. A lot of highs and a lot of lows, and it's just that's how it goes. It's like you're not late. And I know it could feel that way sometimes. I know you can feel like you're behind, like, why am I not where I need to be at? But you're really going at your course. And wisdom is better than money. I'll tell you that, because the money comes and goes too, right, bro? Like, but that wisdom, the healing that you do, that's perpetual, right? And some people get the money first and then they got to heal. Some people do the healing first and then they get the money, right? But I went the route of doing the healing first, because my spirit maybe chose it, but you're going to have to deal with it at one point or another, because you see all these people that are unhappy and they're rich, right? But you got to do this stuff, bro. You got to do this stuff, and you'll be. The cool thing is that once you do this kind of inner work, you'll be able to sustain the business growth that you have, right? If you're a conscious entrepreneur, you'll be able to actually keep it and build off of it instead of, going through even more stressful moments, because you have all this self-sabotaging stuff going on. But yeah, just remember that it's not that you're late, you're being redirected, and it will all make sense later, bro. It always does. And the pressure to have clarity kills creativity. Every time you're putting so much pressure on yourself, that's not good. It creates more resistance. Take the pressure off and the clarity will come. The irony, it's right, like the irony. When I wanted to finally heal my adrenal glands, because I've been struggling with that for quite some time, when I really made the decision to commit, I took the pressure off. Like, you know what? I'm going to do this. It'll take as long as it takes, but I'm going to do this. And what do you know? That same day, I didn't drink coffee, right? I reduced the amount of stimulants that I had little by little. And honestly, the biggest thing, though, was not having breakfast in the morning. I love fasting. I've been a huge fan of it, but it was at the point that my adrenal glands were at, it was not beneficial at all. And the hardest thing for me was to have breakfast. Just for that one thing, it changed everything. It gave my body the fuel that it needed. It took my body out of survival. And what everything changes when you're out of survival. You start viewing things through a different lens. But I took the pressure off, and then the clarity came. It's the irony, right? Like, real growth, it doesn't come from straight lines. It comes from detours that you never asked for, right? Because like, there's plans that I have made that I was so sure this was the way, right? This is it. And then I feel like you get slapped in the face, or like what Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan to get punched in the mouth. Right? Isn't that true? It it was a redirection, but I thought that I failed. I thought that it wasn't meant for me. But no, buddy. Yes, I never asked for it, but I had to use it. Right? I got it, and I made it serve me, because I could have easily made it not serve me. And that's the power of interpretation. So that's the thing, guys, right? That's the thing. Like, they're just pivots. They're just pivots. And if you can roll with it, roll with the punches, and see what's the gift in this, because you can always win, right? You're never really losing. If you can see everything as, hey, this is a win, or I'm learning something from this. One of the two, right? Like, you'll always 1%, right? 1% of you learning from the experiences, and you increase that by 1% every day, you're going to get to where you want to be. But that's the mentality, and it's going to be harder than you think. It's going to take longer than you think. It's going to take everything that you have in you, and that's why a lot of people quit. I've seen a lot of people that have a lot of potential, that have gifts, that have talent, sign themselves off. They just stopped. It was too hard, because I underestimated what it was going to take, right? Like, that's what happens. But if you're watching this, you still have that little spark. You still got a chance. So do something, bro. Go share your gift. If you're a conscious entrepreneur, go help other people, man. They need you, right? If you want to be a part of other people that are walking that path, join my free community. Again, check out the link in the description. I got some free stuff in there for you, some free trainings. Again, I walk you through the truth process, going to help you realize your truth, your true potential, your true self, who you really are, so you can lead with that energy, so you can become that version of you, who you were always meant to be. Because I don't care who you used to be. I care about who you can become, and that's what this it's called, the becoming movement. That's what it's about. Who can you become? Ready for that kind of inner work? If you're ready for those steps, I'll see you inside, bro. All right. I'll see you on the next one. I hope this video helped. Drop a comment. What was the biggest takeaway? I want to hear. If you want to reach out to me via Instagram, via DM, go for it. Got some questions? I got you. All right. I'll see you inside.